So a lot of people know that we're opening a really exciting fine dining restaurant here at Rivet Distillery. Unfortunately, that's delayed because of the latest lockdown, but we thought that we would open it up virtually and share some of the amazing things that are going on in there. And we invited our great friend Rob Smith down here to help us out.
And I'm excited to be here because I like delicious food. I like lovely gin and lovely whiskey. So what's not to like? I'm going to have a good day.
Great.
Right, well, Steve's brought me through into the kitchen here at Pump House. This is Lily Stock. She's the pastry chef. And Lily, you're going to show me what you're making. What are you actually going to make for me?
So we're doing gin and tonic marshmallows to start with, and then I'll be doing sourdough crumpets.
Gin and tonic marshmallows and sourdough crumpets. Right, come on then.
Okay, so I'll start with the marshmallows. So in a pan I've got 50 grams of glucose, which you can buy in a supermarket like a squeezy bottle. And to that we're going to add 450 grams of sugar and a 200 ml bottle of tonic water. If you want to do them plain, you can just use normal water and leave out the gin, but why would you want to do that?
That really fizzes up, doesn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
And you can really taste the gin as this comes through, can you?
Yeah, you can. We add the gin at the end, so when you're cooking the tonic, you don't cook out the flavour of the gin, so it's going in raw at the end. So this takes a little while. You want to heat it to 118 degrees, just moving it slightly every now and again.
And so what's happening to the sugar in there as you do that?
So the sugar's going to dissolve into the liquid, and then the liquid will cook out, so you'll have a really syrupy solution at the end. So it starts off quite slow, and then it'll heat up really quickly, and then the last like 10 degrees is really slow, so you've got to be really patient with it. So whilst that's heating up, you also need to get 120 grams of egg whites into a bowl. If you don't have a stand mixer, just a whisk, a hand electric whisk does the same job perfectly fine.
Right, so Lily, so that's starting to come up to heat now. What are we doing now?
Yep, so whilst you're waiting for that to come up to heat, you want to get 9 sheets of gelatin and just soak them in some cold water for about 3-4 minutes, just so they start to then soften up a bit.
What actually is gelatin? What does it do?
So it sets the product that you're wanting to make. So like jelly, it's the gelatin in it that gives it the texture. Yeah, so just make sure that's all completely submerged in the water, and then just leave that for, like I say, 3-4 minutes.
So the sugar's all melted in there now, and you've got to bring this up to a really specific temperature.
Yep, so 118 degrees is what we need to bring it up to.
And what happens when you reach that magic temperature then? What's happening to the sugar?
So the sugar's all dissolved now, and then the higher the temperature you bring it, the more of the liquid you're then evaporating. So it's then a really concentrated sugar syrup. So when you get to about 110 degrees, you then want to start whisking your egg whites.
Okay, so whisking egg whites, how many have you got in there?
So this is 120 grams. You want it to be quite stiff and really aerated and full in volume.
So as this is boiling off, you're really concentrating the flavour of the tonic into the sugar as well.
Yeah, basically you're taking all the liquid out of it and leaving more the flavour than the less concentrated that's in the bottle. Mm-hmm. When you get to 118, you then want to take your gelatin, which is now really squishy, squeeze all the excess water out of it, and then add it into the liquid and just dissolve it in. And you're very slowly just going to pour this down the side, or if you've got a hand mixer, to the side of the whisks.
And because that liquid's so hot, that actually cooks the egg white as it goes in?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're doing here. You're just cooking the egg whites so that it's then safe to eat, basically. So just slowly pour that in. You want quite a medium speed on the whisk.
Okay, so you've added in all the hot stuff. What happens now?
Yep, so you now want to add your gin, so the Dockyard classic gin is what...
So this is the gin actually going in, is it?
Yep, this is where the gin goes in raw, so you get that proper gin flavour at the end.
Because it's really, it's got quite a unique flavour, hasn't it, the Dockyard Gin?
Yeah, I really like it. It's not too harsh, it's really subtle and nice flavour to it. You can really smell it now.
Yes, you can.
So you now just want to whisk that until your bowl goes cold. So just to get all the heat out, keep whisking it.
What's it like cooking with alcohol? Because that presents its own problems, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to take into different considerations when using alcohol. It affects cooking temperatures and different boiling points. So you have to think about what you're doing with it, to how you need to adapt your recipe or method.
And presumably, because the gin's got quite a subtle flavour to it, so you've got to think about what you're putting. You can't just splosh it in anything, can you?
No, so with the gin, because it is quite subtle, like you said, you need quite a lot. But if you're then adding a lot of gin, it's then going to make what you're making quite liquidy. So you then got to think about what you have to substitute out of it to take that into account.
And does that mean you have to do quite a lot of experimenting?
Yeah, we've done quite a bit of experimenting with this to get it right. Yeah.
So this is the fun bit now.
The messy bit, yeah. So when it's cooled, it'll be really silky and smooth.
That looks amazing. And now that just goes in the fridge and you make me wait for 20 minutes.
Yeah. This is where you can have a nice glass of gin and tonic.
I just need to check that's all right. Wow, you can really taste the gin in that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then when it's cooler as well, you'll get that flavour.
Even more?
Yeah.
So, Lily, it's out the fridge.
Yeah.
This is it, moment of truth time. What happens now?
So I've got a pot of hot water and a small knife, and then a big knife to do the actual cutting. So with the small knife, you just want to run it round the edge of your tin. Yes. So that's when you know that it works. Right, so then in here we've got some icing sugar and corn flour, which is normally what you find round a marshmallow to give it that coating. So we're just going to put some on our board.
So that's just to stop it all sticking together, is it?
Yeah, basically, it just gives it another texture when you're then eating it as well. Now you can do however big or small you want to have.
Oh, quite big, yeah.
And if you've done it in a tin at home, you might have quite rough edges, so you can trim those off if you want to have it really neat. But you can really smell the gin now.
Yes, yeah. Yes you can. Let's have a taste of this. This looks great.
So this is going to be one of our petit fours at the end of the meal. So we've got
a little desserty treat, and you really can smell the you can smell the gin coming through. That was worth waiting for. That is delicious. That is absolutely delicious. So the gin really comes through on it, and it's well, I suppose it's juniper, isn't it? It's the main flavour.
Yeah. So this is the classic Dockyard Gin, which has got really floral, delicate and moorish flavour. But if you're making this at home, you can try the damson or the strawberry. Give it a different flavour, but they'll both work just as well.
Moorish is the word. I'm going to have some more. Okay. Lily, you're a genius. That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.